is up. Let's go ahead and hit that. And we are live. That's what Google's saying at least. So good deal. I'm going to go ahead and minimize the Google screen. And I'm just a minute early, so that's all right. So, hey everybody, and as always, welcome to the channel and thanks for stopping by. My name is Rich Charpentier. I'm the channel host. And normally what we're talking about here is drones and drone services, imaging equipment, and building your small drone business. And hey, we've got Corey on here. Hey, Rich, feeling like, oh no, COVID. I got you, Corey. I hope you feel better. And yeah, I hope it's not that one, man. But you know, drop us a note on Discord as well. Let me know how you're doing. But so here we are on the Wednesday live stream, and today we're going to be talking about, I'm going to answer some questions. I've been getting a lot of emails lately. I mean, a lot of emails from folks who are starting to build their own drone businesses, and they've got a lot of questions. So today we're going to do a little bit of self-promotion. Regulars on this channel know, you know, I'll mention the AZ Drone Teachable site and our Udemy and the Patreon, but I don't do it as a hard push or anything. I'm glad to have you on the channel, and if you're following along and you enjoy it, be sure to like and subscribe, and come back regularly to hang out. For those folks who are on our Patreon channel, we do Sunday Zoom meetings where we get to talk about most any topics that come up in our conversations. We also have a Discord server for the Patreon channel as well. And so today we're going to take a walk through the AZ Drone Teachable site just a little bit. But before we do that, I want to show you some things that we did yesterday. And number one, by the way, I'm feeling a little more relaxed today. We had to cancel a client this morning that was all the way up in Williams, so like, you know, halfway getting to the Grand Canyon from here. And I was really concerned about the weather, and sure enough, you know, this morning it was pouring here earlier in the morning. And while I was saying that we had lower percentages, you never know with monsoons. So the real estate that we were going to go do some video for, it's a bed and breakfast for sale. We're pushing that out till next week. The realtor agreed with us and said, yeah, we don't want to run the risk, because the realtor was also coming up all the way from Phoenix. But yesterday we did have a break in the weather in the morning, and then we had some interesting rain here again yesterday. But so we did go out to another client site. Those of you who are regulars on the channel might recognize the site. Hey Joe, how are you doing? Glad to see you on here today. So this is a raw land site in Peoples Valley, Arizona, and the owners are just starting. You know, they're getting into their retirement and everything, and they're just starting to build their home. Nothing's on the ground yet. They had contacted us weeks and weeks ago at this point, and we'd done some initial video flights for them and still photo flights for them. They just wanted to have a better view of their property, you know, as they're walking through their 17 acres, finding interesting things. They just wanted to, you know, have a little more. While we were on location, we were having a conversation with them, of course, about the other things we do and the services that we offer, including our construction progression, time-lapse video and time-lapse orthos, etc. And they let us know at the end of our flight, they said, we want to do that too. So I hadn't come equipped with everything pre-set up for the flights with them. So we scheduled it out, and yesterday we got to do it. And we used Map Pilot Pro with this one. So for the finishing touches on our Map Pilot class, it's over on AZ Drone's Teachable site. And so you'll see some of this in the video if you go over there and sign up for that one. But as you can see, it's got this overlay. We've got the Google Earth style map, or the Google Maps here. And I'm going to just go in here and change the layer so that we don't have anything else. And so there's the actual property. So here's our two-dimensional ortho mosaic. And they did have someone in who was doing a little bit of clearing for them in the house site area. And so we had a big truck running through here. And so we're looking at Maps Made Easy right now. I had Maps Made Easy process this particular model for me. Normally I'm using Metashape, and I still like my Metashape results, but Maps Made Easy does a nice job as well. They really do, and I'm going to show you a couple other things in a moment. But if you're not going to invest in a license in a Pix 4D or a Metashape or an AutoCAD recap, and you're not doing models all the time, but maybe you get a request now and again, utilizing Maps Made Easy's website and their point system is going to save you a fair amount of money. Now, I don't fully understand their point system. They have different levels of things and what you pay for, but you can give a read through their website and they do have an explanation on how they allocate points for processing. So by the way, just over zooming here, sorry about that. So nice detail on the work trucks in here. There's nice detail even on my truck. My truck's rooftop really needs to be repainted. Something that seems to happen to all the Nissan Titans down here in Arizona. Everybody I see with a Titan has this weird, you know, the paint's just fading right out, even on the newer vehicles. Now, Maps Made Easy does offer you a lot of output formats. So depending on what clients are looking for, if you have some demands from your clients for certain outputs, you might want to do a double check on Maps Made Easy. So this was 169 photos to get this whole area. It was done on a single battery, the P4P. And let's scroll on down in here. And so we can actually send public links to the clients. So we could also put those links into our website presentations with the iframe embed codes. And so one of the things that should be noted about Maps Made Easy is they don't keep all of your models for a long period of time. So when you're finished running your models, you want to make sure to, if you're using Maps Made Easy, make sure to go download all the formats that Maps Made Easy, even if the client says they want X format, I would still download all the formats. You know, drive space is pretty cheap these days. So they do outputs, so we can do a GeoTIFF, a full resolution JPEG, a digital elevation model, GeoTIFF as well, that you can re-overlay into other applications and get some of your elevation information. A colorized digital elevation model in TIFF format and in JPEG. And we've got the Google Earth KMZ file as well. We've got our point cloud, so a last point cloud, 736 megs. One of the other things you should note is Maps Made Easy also will do an upload to Sketchfab for you. So I'm a Sketchfab user as well. So that's fantastic when we're processing these things that they allow us to actually send it over to Sketchfab, and then we can keep it on our Sketchfab accounts for as long as we want to and keep it available for our clients. Because while we do have some links here on Maps Made Easy, they are rolling us off the system. I'm sure they've got a lot of processed data, so they probably have to clear out their servers regularly. So another point cloud text file, 3D model OBJ, you can open these up in Photoshop and many other applications. And then we've got our material files and our textures for if we're doing the 3D model and we want that mesh overlay. So in addition, we also have for the web browsers, they do offer private 3D view and a public 3D view. We'll just take a quick look at the public, and I did this one low res. So this is not a high res version. I have checked out the high res versus Metashape because I always like to compare them, and they're pretty equivalent here. So we weren't looking for a 3D model here for the clients. That's not something they were requesting, but it was something that Maps Made Easy generated for us. So I will be sending something to Sketchfab, and I'll be including that in their webpage presentation as well. But so you get a feel for the property. One of the big things, one of the concerns, you know, that you have here in Arizona, especially during monsoon season, is where's the runoff going? Where are the washes? You know, where's our high points? And, you know, do we feel confident that we're not going to have a river running through where we put the house? Of course, a lot of other folks are involved with that afterward, but this is a really good, quick overview for them. And so one thing I want to pull up here is their model file. So these are all the images that I fed in. Like I said, 169 images. So let's go on up here. And yeah, so 169 out of 170. And that's what went into Maps Made Easy. It's also what went into my Metashape as well. But so I did download all of the files that they offered me because you never know, maybe you want to put it in another format. And we do have our Peoples Valley digital elevation model. We've got a colored TIFF, and we also have a colored JPEG. So I'm just going to pull up the colored JPEG really quick. And my suspicions about the property were proven right out after our flight when I saw this model here. So you can tell the the deep blue areas are the low points. They've got some high points to the northwest corner of it, and they're talking about actually putting their home into this area, so it makes a lot of sense. And you can zoom in on these and get closer, and you can also load the TIFF files into Photoshop and really get some high level zooming in there, and you do pull a lot of detail out of it. So that's what we were doing yesterday morning. We got the flight done, hour drive down the location, hour drive back from the location, a little over an hour actually on the location with the clients. So, 3 hours and some change. We get back to the office. I do the uploads to Maps Made Easy. That took a little while. 169 rather large images getting uploaded to their server. And while that was being processed on one machine, the iMac was processing the Metashape file on the other machine. So there we go. And all of this is also in video right now. It's going to be added to our Maps Made Easy course that is over on the Teachable site, which is what we're going to be talking about next. But I'm just pulling up Final Cut Pro really quick to show you. So after we had started getting some of that information in here, let me mute that. This is going to be one of the final videos here. So first, I actually have you on location, show you where we're at. Just a beautiful location for the home site. So the family's very excited about this, and I'm excited that we're going to be documenting it for them as well. So a simple flyover, a simple video series, and a simple set of images with a couple of 360s were enough to tell these particular clients that they wanted to do more work with us. And they made the pretty snap decision that they wanted to do some of the time-lapse progression work because they want that history of that house build. So builders can ask us to do this, different construction companies can come to us, buyers can come to us, property owners can come to us, and brokers and agents can come to us, and we can do this work for all of them. So, and it'll be a different take depending on who's commissioning the work. So after I talk through it a little bit, we actually take you through what the flight was about. And like I said, this new video will be added shortly to the Map Pilot Pro class over on the Teachable site. So we go through that. We're actually not looking at it live. I did a live one with a very small parcel of land out in the Granite Dells. That's also a part of the class. But this one, I had to keep my eyes really fixated on this. I did have my visual observer with me as well, but I really like to keep track of where the drone was at. So I did make a mistake. I set my time limit way too low. I had it only to 12 minutes. So at 12 minutes, the drone came back, landed, asked for a new battery, went out and finished the flight. That is one of the powerful features that I do like a lot about Map Pilot Pro, is that when the drone does come back, you can resume from where you were at. There are other applications that do that as well. Drone Harmony does it, the Ground Station Pro does it, but the Map Pilot Pro just makes it look like cake when you see that drone come back in, lands perfectly on the helipad every single time, and is pretty impressive to watch. So anyways, that video will be going up. If you're one of the folks who's already one of our members on Teachable and you've already purchased the Map Pilot class, you know that we're getting all the new Map Pilot Pro stuff out since some changes occurred. Before we close up on their property, I just wanted to say, while we were there, we decided to do a couple more 360s for them. Let's see, Rich, do you know if there's a way to switch the start and end with, yes! Really easy one, Joe. So when you're in the editing mode or when you go back into the editing mode, take 2 fingers on the screen and rotate. That will rotate your grid around for you, and it will rotate the green and red dot. It is that simple. So you can just, make sure that you're in the edit mode. So if you've already made the mission, you get the little lock symbol up there, go ahead and unlock it. Then take the 2 fingers, rotate that flight path, and then save again. Remember to save again. It's going to make a new flight path for you. So when you go look in your missions afterward, you're going to see the original one, and then you're going to see the flipped one. You can go ahead and throw away that original one once you know that you've got everything where you want it now. So really, really super easy to change that start and end point. And so give it a whirl, give it a try. And, once again, you don't have to save it. You can just try it. But I do like I like starting further away and then having the drone coming back to me, so that way all eyes are on the drone when we're starting out. And by the time that it gets back to us, we're feeling a little more comfortable with its proximity to us, that it's not that far away. So while we were there, like we said, we really liked this property when we visited it. So one of the cool things in this job is some of the people you meet, and also some of the properties that we're getting to see. It's just really cool stuff. Driving up this road, what a challenge. I saw some garbage cans out for garbage pickup. This is a one-lane road, and I'm trying to figure out, how do those big garbage trucks get in to pick that up? And where's their turnaround? So, kind of fun stuff there. So, like I said, we did do several more 360s. Those 360s will be getting added to their progression page as well. So we've already built a new progression page for them, but we can actually get a look around the property. So you can see back here where they've been doing their clearing. They still do have a little more land behind this before they butt up against their neighbors, and then we get some really nice looks around this place. And I have to say, one of the locations, just looking here, if I was building a home, there's a cute little cabin out here, and just sets a really nice scene. Everybody's not on top of each other. This looks like a pretty nice place. I could understand why someone would want to build their retirement home here. So we're arrowing through this. So while I was busy doing the model stuff, Jody was actually assembling all the 360s, getting everything uploaded to Kula. And we're going to be doing another follow-up on Kula because, they've been adding new features. We've just been so impressed with Kula, so we're going to talk a little more about it, and we'll probably include some of these recent flights as well for you. So in looking around this property, there are some unique features. The owners have found an old well and some old foundation work from folks long gone by. They even found a metal tripod there and some stone foundations. And so, documenting some of the features here, the couple was very interested in, they're making sure that they're going to be preserving these sites and they're not going to be building anything. But if we take the zoom in down here, you can actually see the stone walls in here. And this dark area here, our last aerial overview that we did 2 weeks ago for them had less in the way of shadows here, and you could really make this out more. But there is 3 bars here right over this, what they think is a little well site, and they do have some more stone walls things in here as well. And further into the property, there's also more stone walls set up. So we're giving them some extra information and data so that they can think about their property differently. Because of course they've been walking around out there, checking out everything that's part of their land. They've got some interesting rock formations, and we did get to document a lot of that for them as well. All right, so there was the fun of yesterday. Like I said, this morning we were supposed to be heading up to Williams to just do a video flight for a realtor. That got pushed out, and that was actually okay by me because, frankly, I've been exhausted. We've gotten a lot of inquiries here, a lot of folks looking to do more raw land sites. I got someone who got in touch recently with another 200 acres broken up into parcels of 26 to 57 acres. So, that's going to be a bit of flying out in the Dewey-Humboldt area. And I'm going to close this. But one of the things I've been getting a lot of questions, a lot. This morning I had 3 different people with almost identical questions. They were asking about they're starting up into their drone businesses. They don't know where their starting point is. They don't know all the gear and equipment. They've passed their 107s, and they're kind of doing I passed my part 107, what next? Well, months ago on my Teachable channel, I actually did a video on that called You Passed Your Part 107, What's Next? Now, I hadn't been pushing it on my channel, and I haven't been linking out. I let people trickle into these, but today I'm going to say that it's a very useful course to answer some of the questions. So I'm just rolling myself over here for a sec because one gentleman spelled out exactly the types of things they were looking for, and most of the answers that they were looking to get answered are found on our Teachable site. We're going to talk more in depth here. But so here's some of the questions that I got. Number 1, the presentation to sell the service of progression in construction. Well, the presentation of that, you can do PDF files for people. You could do a PowerPoint setup. Or in my case, I build a lot of my stuff on private web pages for the clients. I also have demos and examples of what we do on our AZ drone site. And for those of you who are new to the channel, we're also building a new site with some new direction here called seemybuild.com. So we already own the domain. I'm already building the website, and we will be seeing that probably by the end of the summer. We're slowly cobbling that together as we accumulate very specific stuff for that. But so to this person's question, yeah, we could do PDFs, we can do PowerPoints or keynotes or whatever, but in the end, for our outreach, we're all going to have a website for our drone business. It's pretty straightforward. It's a great way for people to find us, and it takes time for people to find us, though. Google doesn't index us immediately. So if you're looking to build your business now, one thing is to start on your site development now. Capture images, capture models, gather some initial content that's from you, not stock photography. Don't borrow other people's images. We want to generate your images. We want to see your images. We want to show your potential clients those images. So in the AZ Drone Teachable site, we cover a lot of this, and you'll see that as we go through the site. His second question, so how do I deliver the information afterward to my clients? Once again, that web presentation that we're doing is a big part of what we do now. There's a lot of wow factor to it. The brokerage that we've been working with, the builders that we've been working with, and the homeowners who are seeing the progress of their homes for some of these single family residentials, they're all wowed by it. The other week, I met a neighbor of someone who is building a new home up in the Talking Rock area, and that neighbor actually stopped by to say hi to me. He saw that the drone was up, and he thought it was the presentation that we had done was just an absolutely cool thing. He wished that he had had it done when his house was being built as well. So we chatted for a couple. You saw some of the work that we were doing and how we were doing it. I got to answer a couple of questions for him, but there is that big wow factor. Now, when we start getting into the data, when we're looking at all those images, like I showed before with 169 images, for other construction groups, they might want all those images to run through their own 3D modeling. In situations like that, the private web page, I could put a link on that private web page to a Google Drive or a Dropbox or an iCloud, whatever sharing platform you'd like to use if we need to get that raw data to the clients. And not only do we build those customized web pages for them, we do provide them with their original data and the original video. Whatever we collect up, we do offer that to the client. And then his final question was, procedure for taking the videos and the photos. Well, that's going to depend on the types of things that we're doing. So, in the procedures for flying things, are we doing a time-lapse progression? Are we showing the same flight path over and over again? Because then one of the procedures is going to be setting up flight paths and waypoint missions. Now, if it's just a single flight and people want an interesting, pretty view of the place, you don't have to create high-end waypoint missions with Litchi or Drone Harmony or Ground Station. You can just do the flight and have fun with the flight. But the moment that people are looking for some of that progression stuff, now we're talking about doing reusable flight paths. So that's where we're going to spend more time upfront documenting the site, setting up our flight paths, and then making those flights happen. So in answer to all of these questions from that particular YouTube visitor, I present you with AZ Drone's Teachable site. So I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with it for the regular folks who stop by here, but for those of you who are not familiar with it, we're going to do a quick talk about each of these. So number one is the Beginner's Guide to Map Pilot for Drone 2D and 3D Modeling. It's my most recent class, and it's also being updated right now because Map Pilot went from the regular Map Pilot to Business, now to Map Pilot Pro. So they've got a new version. They've got a low-end version, which is free to use, so you can try out flight with it. They've got a middle point where you actually get some of their points for processing with them. And you're subscribed for a year, and then they've got a high-end setup as well. And each of the service levels offers different features. So Map Pilot Pro is used for usually doing 2 and 3D modeling capture. So that's what I was showing you before. And it's a pretty straightforward program for doing capture. and you know, it's in my inventory of used apps on a regular basis. Drone construction progression job, a full project. This is one where we actually walk through setting up waypoint missions for video and for still images and for doing time-lapse orthomosaics where we show before and afters. So we talk through the entire project, the work that we did for the clients, and we show you how we do some of their deliverables for them as well. So just so you know, in that drone construction progression job, we utilize the original map pilot for doing our two-dimensional modeling, and we used Litchi for doing our waypoint video and our waypoint stills, okay? Next one, Beginner's Ground Station Pro. So Ground Station Pro does a lot of the same stuff that Map Pilot does. So we can make waypoint missions, we can make grid missions, and we're looking at doing 2 and 3D models when we're utilizing this software as well. One of the big differences with Map Pilot and Ground Station is a free application. You don't need to pay for the middle range or the higher range. It's all free. They do have some extra features which are unnecessary that are paid for. And Ground Station Pro is also a DJI product. One of the big things with Ground Station Pro right now that's been kind of bothering me a little bit is there's been no updates for it for quite some time. So with the new releases of the new DJI drones, they're not even updating Ground Station Pro. So it's a fantastic flight app as well. It's free. It's also iOS only, so it's for iPads. It doesn't even work on my iPhone. So it's a very niche application. But you know, if you were looking at Ground Station Pro and Map Pilot and doing some comparisons, these could be interchanged with each other. But in my case, I have them both. So what you learn in the Beginner's Guide to Ground Station Pro could feed into a drone construction progression job as well. Next one we have here is Litchi Waypoint Missions for your drone business. And this one, we actually talk about creating waypoint missions for video and for stills. It does tie back into this drone construction progression class. So there's a little bit of overlap between the two of them. But where the drone construction progression class talks about the big view, the high level view, the Litchi class is getting into the nitpicky stuff on Litchi. So, and it goes beyond just those progressions. We also have orbits. You know, we've got first person view, you've got 360 image capturing. So it's a great one here. Now, the next thing you should know, we've got a construction progression bundle, and that is where we put multiple classes together. So I do have courses over on Udemy as well. But one of the things Udemy didn't offer to me as a creator was a way to bundle my classes so that you could get 4 or 5 classes together. You get a discount on the overall price because you're purchasing multiple ones. So that's something Udemy didn't offer. Also, Udemy is, they take the lion's share of most creators' revenue each month. So I'm lucky to pull out about 30% from my sales each month. So that's why I started building the Teachable site last year. So we've got the construction progression bundle. It includes Litchi, it includes Map Pilot, it includes Ground Station Pro, and it includes that overall drone construction progression example. So you can get all those under one roof, and there's a little financial savings in there for you. We also do offer coupon codes on all the standalone ones, and those are down in the show description below. Next one, drone modeling with Metashape. So once we've collected all of our data, what do we do with it? How do we process it? Well, we just saw earlier on in the live stream here that I did some processing with Maps Made Easy just yesterday. So I can use Maps Made Easy, I could use Pix4D, I can use Metashape, and I can use a variety of other 3D modeling applications. I'm actually a heavy Metashape user. I'm licensed with them. And so this is one of the more complex classes. There's a lot that goes into this. And it also combines back with these other courses for our waypoint missions, our grid missions, and capturing data for 2 and 3D models. Agisoft's Metashape is a 2 and 3D model renderer. It's a fantastic program. I absolutely love it. My clients like the results from it. We can do 2-dimensional orthomosaics. We can do 3-dimensional models for them that we're sharing through Sketchfab. We can supply them with point clouds. There's a lot of export formats, and there's a lot to learn in Metashape. It is a beginner's class. We don't go way down the rabbit hole of ground control points and PPK or anything. So this is to get new people started in with this. One of our earliest courses along the way was our drone 3D modeling beginners for beginners and low-cost solutions, because when you start looking into all this stuff, it does get expensive. Some of the licensing agreements per year are in the thousands of dollars per year. Plus, you have to consider the types of systems that you're running these things on. So we talk about how, as you're starting to learn 2D and 3D modeling with your drones, that you have some options, some trial periods, so you can try Metashape for free, you can try Pix4D for free, you can try Maps Made Easy for free. And so we talk and recommend about how you should approach your initial learning into 2D and 3D modeling with your drones in this course. So then we've got the big one that is a newer one here on channel, and that's the post part 107. You pass the test, now what? There's a lot more that happens, and there's a lot more than just owning a drone and a phone and getting out there in the field and shooting and taking video. You're just at the beginning, because now as you start building into those clients, like hiring clients like our construction progression work, or let's say you're doing agriculture stuff, or maybe you're working with insurance companies, taking inventory of damaged buildings or things, now we start getting into the higher end software, a steeper learning curve, and a lot of other software. I mean, I'm utilizing Photoshop and Lightroom and Affinity Photo and Final Cut Pro and a variety of other programs, PT GUI for 360s. All of this stuff stacks up. So in this particular video series, by the way, there are 3 previews that are for free. Most of my courses do have free previews as well on here, so you can go check out to see where the class is going to be going. But the first couple of previews in here, I actually walk you through the simplest job of all, which is doing real estate images and real estate video. Well, it's not the simplest, but it's the most well-known. Because even doing something very basic where a lot of people start out, such as real estate for drones, you still need a lot of things. You need a good computer system. You're probably going to want Photoshop. You might want Affinity Photo. You might want some HDR software. You might want some 360 stitching software. You might want a new Android tablet. You might want a new iPad, because, hey, you want to use Ground Station Pro and it's iPad only. So as you start totaling up the costs in this particular video, I'm just going to click on it here because this was a big answer to that gentleman's questions this morning. So I'm just going to scroll on down here. And so I did a basic business use case, and it's 14 minutes long, and I do mention in it several times, please don't get discouraged, but we're going to total up the price of the equipment and the software that I'm using just for doing real estate. We're not even talking about 3D models or 2D models. We're not talking about the autonomous flight or anything. We're just talking about simple aerial images for our real estate clients to help sell a property. And as you go through that second preview, second look into what the class is going to be about, you're going to find out very quickly that there are some higher end expenditures even in this simple use case. So then we talk about the reality of building the drone business, taking your time, picking your specialty, picking those niches, and finding ways to set yourself apart from other folks who are doing this. Now, I know there's a lot of videos out there on how to make a whole bucket of money with your drone, and those things are great. They talk about the accounting side and advertising these things. In the end, you're still going to need to build up on this learning curve, because I promise you, you probably do not know all these software applications. All right, on to the next one. We've got another modeling course bundle. So this is the 2D and 3D modeling course bundle. It has 4 classes as well from these classes that we've been talking about. So we've got the bundle on the construction progression. We've got a bundle on 2 and 3D modeling for beginners, and this is all about beginners. So I really cater to beginners because I was there at one point too. You feel a little lost when you're starting into this. You've got a general idea where you want to take it, but in the end, you still need some help and coaching. That's part of why I've been developing our live streams and our Patreon and this class website as well. So we've got this bundle, so go ahead and check that one out. Then we have the post part 107 bundle, and basically we've lumped just about everything into there. So you can work through all these, but everything with the drone side of things. So that 3D modeling bundle and the drone construction progression are all packed right under here under the Post Part 107 bundle. So you could just get the standalones, or you could actually get these that are all wrapped together. Then some newer ones that have come into here, and we're going to start packaging these up a little more as well. The Beginner's Guide to the Ricoh Theta Z1, which we use a lot for doing 360 tours, both indoor and outdoor 360 tours. So we've been using the Theta Z1 coming up on a year now, so still very happy with that camera. And then we've got 360 virtual tours from the air. This is a very simple, straightforward one that we don't spend a lot of time on. So this is a free one that anybody is welcome to take. And it'll give you an idea of my teaching style and how we do things here. So I would recommend, if you're just popping by and you just heard me talk about this one, hey, it's free. Go ahead and download, or go ahead and give it a view, take a look through. It's a fun one too, and it also gives you some ideas about utilizing Kula, utilizing your drone for 360s. And that leads us to the next one, building 360 virtual tours with Kula. So we do use other 360 applications as well, but I've got to say, for the price and the quality of what comes out of Kula, this is a 360 tour site, Kula.co. The final products are always fantastic on this. Very easy to use. So we do a very simple course on this one to get people started with using Kula so that you too can start doing 360s. I know one of the folks on our Patreon channel has recently started signing up clients for 360s. Things have been going really good for him. He's got several clients on it, so it's awesome. Finally, we also have building a large 360 virtual tour. We actually did a project for one of the many galleries here in downtown Prescott that wanted to showcase their overall 3-store gallery in a very historic building. So we actually take you through doing the shoot, assembling the 360 tour, setting things up for our clients, the final deliverables for them, and then also getting them shareable links so they have other companies that are actually linking back to their gallery, because one of their companies for the hanging systems for the art, the wall art, got a look at the 360 tour that we did for them. So that company, who they were buying merchandise from, contacted the gallery and said, hey, can we get the link to that 360 tour? Because it's a great showcase of our hanging systems. So not only did the gallery benefit from doing the 360 tour, one of their vendors actually got a takeaway as well. And the vendor is now showcasing them and showcasing those 360 tours. So there's so many angles to add things into your business, and we talk about that in that class. So there's the big overview that should answer, like I said, this morning I have 3 different conversations going on via email, and folks, you are always welcome to contact me through azdrone.net. That's our main site. You can take a look at the type of work we do and some of our explanations of things. And you can get in touch with me through our contact form. You can drop me a note here on YouTube. I always do answer comments. Sometimes I might be a little delayed when we've got back-to-back days. Like I said, we've been straight out busy for, I'd say, even the past month, even with monsoon season. I've been really, truly exhausted. I'm trying to figure out in the next couple of weeks what week I can take off for myself, and literally change my voicemail message to saying I am away for the week, and I will call people back the next week. But so you can make comments here and I will answer them even if there's a little bit of a delay. And if you're one of the students on Udemy or on the Teachable platform, you can always leave comments here and there as well. Any of these things that you are interested, I would greatly appreciate it if you would go through the Teachable site, because I do get to keep a higher percentage for the sales that we're doing on there. I know Udemy offers some awesome sales, but when they do the $9.99 sale and I'm only pulling 30% out of it, it hurts sometimes. So if you stumbled across this here, you want to support this channel and you're interested in some of the course offerings that we have, it'd be really appreciated if you use the Teachable ones. So there we go today. That answers several people. I'm going to be emailing them back and telling them, hey, check out a link after this live stream. I know one of them is going to be on the live stream today as well. So thanks for subscribing, liking, and following here, and for your interest in the work that we're doing. And to everyone else as well, if you've enjoyed this, if you want more information, Please be sure to like and subscribe down below. We love building that subscriber community. And also, for those of you interested, we do have the Patreon channel. So the first 3 Sundays of every month, we do Zoom meetings at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We talk about different topics. We talk about topics that the patrons ask about. And in the very near future, one of our regulars here on the live stream, we're going to walk through their website because they've done such an awesome job building their drone website. They've taken a lot of what they've learned here to heart, and everything is coming together in a really impressive way. I got to see their website very recently. You know who you are. It was looking really good. So I can't wait to share that with the Patreon community so they can see, hey, this stuff can come together, especially taking your time, putting one foot in front of the other and just making the steps go along, building that business. It's not an overnight thing, but I think that you can become very successful with this stuff. If you take your time at it, build your knowledge base, and find where your weak points are, focus on those, and truly work on your with your strong points, accentuate those, share those with the general community through YouTube, through your own web presence, or all the different forums that are out there as well. So as always, I got to thank you for stopping in today and hanging out with us. And sorry it was the big self promo, but it's not just the big self promo, because I get these questions every week, and I also do write back to folks and describe things, and then also send them the links as well. So I'm happy to answer questions, and those questions also lead to more course offerings here when people get to something that they'd like more information on, and there's not a lot of information out there on the net about it. Then I would be interested in making new tutorial series on that as well. Okay, everyone, I hope you have an awesome rest of the week, and stay safe, have fun, get your flights in, and for all the patrons, we'll see you again this Sunday at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we've got a couple of topics. It's going to be some light stuff, and maybe we can get a sneak peek at somebody else's website who's doing this business as well. See you again really soon, and have a great rest of the week, everybody. All right, we'll be wrapping this one up right now.